What is up guys, Lone Hawk here today, and welcome to another video about Sombra. Yesterday's video was just kind of short and sweet, just giving you her abilities and what she looks like. In today's video, we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to take a bigger look at her abilities, go a little bit more in depth, and talk about, is Sombra actually going to be good or not? Because there are some widely varying opinions out there. Some people think she's going to be ridiculously overpowered because of her invisibility, teleportation, and a 60-round magazine, while others think she's going to be kind of trash for different reasons. Some say because she doesn't have any damage, some say because her abilities are very easy to counter. Regardless, we're going to take a look at all of them, and I'm going to give you my opinion as to whether or not Sombra is going to be OP, underpowered, or just balanced. Because in the end, I mean, that's what Blizzard really wants. They tested her on their own servers, so I'm guessing Blizzard thinks she's balanced. So something we didn't mention in yesterday's video, because it's not on her Play Overwatch website page, is her passive, which is Opportunist. It allows her to see enemies on critically low HP through walls, which is a pretty cool passive. It makes you kind of an assassin, so if you're already behind enemy lines, you can probably sneak up on people and take them out and then use your teleporter to escape. There's a lot of potential with this passive, I do see it. Her machine pistol is the source of a lot of controversy. 60 rounds in the magazine is a lot, and she can output a lot of damage, but the spread is also very high. It's honestly hard to tell how good it is right now because I couldn't really get any good gameplay of people with good aim playing her, probably because they were all on new systems when they're playing at BlizzCon. They're not playing at their optimal settings, so it is going to be admittedly hard to play a new hero. But I did notice a few things. For one, when she was shooting at tanks, she kind of wrecked them. She took out their health very fast because against tanks, the spread doesn't really matter as much. They have very big hitboxes. So in that regard, I think Sombra is going to be very good against tanks for multiple reasons. We're going to go over more as we go over more of her abilities. But for one, her damage output on tanks is not something to be underestimated. I do think that's going to be one of her main strengths. Now, on squishier targets, you know, assault heroes, supports, I still think she's going to be pretty good, but I think she's going to need a little bit better aim and a little bit better of, you know, spray management, I'd say. Her spray ramps up very quickly, so you may have to burst fire, you may have to just get in very close. I'm not too sure yet, but one nice thing is her hack. Let's talk about her hack and why I think it's going to make her pretty good, but for different reasons than other people think. A lot of people think hack is totally OP. I mean, stopping everyone's abilities just on your right-click ability on like a 12-second cooldown, that does sound pretty good, but here's the thing. It's not instant. It's a channeled ability. You have to kind of hold it on someone for 1 second, and if you can't hold it on them for 1 second, if they damage you or they break your line of sight, I'd imagine, the hack doesn't go off. So it's not just going to be a completely shut down ability that makes you win all fights and everything like that, because you have to channel it. So in that regard, I don't think hack is going to help you win 1v1s versus other assault heroes, because in that 1 second, they can deal a lot of damage to you, and some of them can stun you, like McCree. Genji can swift strike out of the range of your hack, I'd imagine, and you're not going to really be good against other assault heroes with that ability. I think it's going to be great for flanking enemy tanks and supports, because supports don't get their escape abilities if you can hack them. So Mercy, you find Mercy, you hack her, she can't fly away now, and that's her only source of escape. Lucio can't boop you, and he can't even switch to speed boost or healing boost, depending on which one he's on. He can't switch off of it while he's hacked. As far as tanks go, well, tanks rely on their abilities, I think, more than assault heroes do. Maybe like Genji is the exception, and maybe sometimes Tracer, but the thing is, Genji and Tracer can kill you very quickly while you're trying to hack them. I wouldn't recommend it if they know where you are. Tanks, though, if you can hack a Roadhog without his hook, he's kinda useless. Not entirely useless, he still does damage, but he's not going to be as good. If you can hack a Zarya, she can't place those annoying barriers everywhere. She can't throw her Graviton Surge. And the biggest one is, if you flank behind an enemy Reinhardt and you hack him, the shield goes down. And I think that's going to be a huge thing for her. But I do think it's going to be counterable, and I think people are actually going to be looking for it, because we have to remember that channel time. So I think there's actually going to be a lot of counterplay to Sombra, a lot more than people give her credit for. I think she's not going to be that hard to see coming. Like, when she leaves stealth, she has a voice line that says, "Here I am." If enemies hear that, they'll look around. They're going to see you hacking. All it takes is a shot to break that channel. So in one regard, it's going to be a pretty good ability, but in the other, it has a lot of counterplay. Any damage interrupts it. Losing line of sight interrupts it, which I think is going to make it not OP. I think it's going to be balanced, if not a little underpowered. I mean, a second is a lot of time in an FPS. That's enough time to get killed. If a McCree sees you hacking and he shoots you 2 flashbangs you and shoots you, or maybe even flashbang headshot, you're kind of out of the fight. You're kind of dead, actually. And McCree's kind of meta, and there are other heroes that are pretty meta that can do similar things. Roadhog, if he sees you hacking, you're just a huge target for him. He's just going to pull you and kill you. There is a lot of counterplay to this ability, a lot more than people think, and I don't think that ability is going to be OP. Also, if you didn't know, Sombra can see hacked enemies through walls, and she can hack health packs. When she hacks a health pack, some pretty cool stuff happens. For one, she denies the enemy team the ability to use that health pack, and 2, for a whole minute when it's denied, it regenerates faster for her own team, which means she can pick it up and it'll be back in like 10 seconds. It's a ridiculously short cooldown, which grants her a lot of HP if she uses it right. We're going to talk about it more in the Translocator section, but just remember for now, when she hacks a health pack, she gets a lot of HP from it. Let's move on to Thermoptic Camo. This ability is definitely good, and I think it's one of the best ones, if not the best one in her kit. I mean, invisibility is something that is extremely powerful in like any game, so it's bound to be a good ability. It lasts for somewhere between 4 and 6 seconds, I believe, when you go invisible, and it has, I think, a 6-second cooldown. So, I mean, if you really think about it, you can technically be invisible like 50% of the time, which is kind of cool. Let's talk about some counterplay really quick before we really go into it. Sonic Arrow and Widowmaker's Infrasight will both reveal you even if you're invisible, so there is a little counterplay there. Also, taking any damage or using any of your offensive abilities will break the stealth. And like I said before, when you leave stealth, you have a voice line that says, "Here I am." So it's kind of an alarm to the enemy team. I don't know why Blizzard included this. I don't know if I really like that. I kind of think she should be silent. I don't see why she would yell to everyone where she is, but regardless, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about why this ability is good. First of all, it enables her to get behind people to use hack, because I think hack is only going to be really usable when the enemy does not see you. Trying to hack someone who's looking at you is not going to be well. And you can't hack people through shields or barriers, or like Winston's barrier, Reinhardt's shield, or Zarya's bubble. So you're going to need to get them off guard, and this ability is going to allow you to do that. I think this ability is going to be primarily good on King of the Hill. I think Sombra is going to be primarily good on King of the Hill. She plays a lot like Tracer with her high damage, her close range, a lot of mobility, and a lot of little tricks up her sleeve, so I think she's going to be good on King of the Hill. Some people say she's going to be good on points like Hanamura and, you know, big Temple of Anubis, big choke point maps. I think she can be good here when played right. I think if you do it wrong, though, you're just going to get shot as you run through the choke point, or they'll see you go invisible and they'll know you're coming. I think this ability is going to be a very skill heavy ability. Actually, I think now is the time to say I think Sombra's going to be good in the right hands. She's definitely a skill hero. I think she's going to be similar to Genji, not in her kit, but in the fact that good players know how to use Genji. Even after the nerfs, good Genjis are still insane. But people that just randomly pick up Genji, they're not going to do good. They're not going to be good at the game. And I love when I say this too, because you get people that don't have any clue and they're like, "Oh, Genji's the easiest hero in the game to play." And I'm sure I'll probably get some dislikes for saying Genji is a hard hero, but he is. And I think Sombra is going to be as well. Even the Play Overwatch website has her rated at the maximum difficulty. So it's safe to say a skill hero like this is definitely going to be good in the right hands. The thing is, though, not all skill heroes see play. Like Widowmaker is definitely a skill hero, but she doesn't see much play because she's not that good. So let's continue the conversation and move on to Sombras Translocator. This ability is super dynamic and super cool, and I'm really glad Blizzard put it into the game. Just all things aside, I just think it's a cool ability. But how is it good? How do we know this ability will do well? Well, for one, you have a lot of different things you can do with it. You can use it aggressively, throw it into somewhere and teleport in, or you can use it passively, like a get out of jail free card. Drop it down, run into the enemy team. If you're about to die, you can just teleport out of there. Mid-combat, mid not being stunned, I guess. Mid anything but being stunned or frozen, you can just get out of it, and it's a pretty sweet idea. It gives Sombra a lot of safety because she can put it in your health packs. She can put it in your health packs that she's hacked, which would be a really good ability because she could basically guarantee that there's health there for her whenever she recalls. And if it's a big health pack, she'll be on full HP. So Sombra has a lot of mobility and a lot of potential in the flanking regard, in the trickery regard, and I do think people with good game sense are going to be able to utilize Sombra's teleporting and invisibility excellently, but people that don't, I think, aren't really going to get the full grasp of her, and I do think they won't play her as much. I do think she's going to fit a very good infiltrator role. If she can sneak behind enemy lines and kill one person and hack another, or just do one of the things, already the fight is going to be turned in your team's favor, and that's not too difficult to do. I mentioned how the hack is a little bit hard against people that know what they're doing, because it is, but killing someone isn't as hard, I think. I actually think it's going to be easier to kill someone like Zenyatta than it is going to be to hack them. Because with your super high damage and the ability to get super close without being seen, I do think you're going to be a very good assassin. You're going to really change the way the game is played a little bit, maybe define the meta a bit. That all being said, before we move on to her ultimate, I do think she kind of lacks damage. Not in her primary weapon, but just the fact that it's the only thing that does damage. She's kind of really like Tracer in that regard, which I think I've mentioned before. You're really going to have good aim to play Sombra and good tracking. That is guaranteed. So maybe she'll be better at higher ranks than lower ranks, or maybe she'll be better at lower ranks because people don't know how to deal with the invisibility and the hacking. I really don't know. As far as pro play goes, before we talk about her ultimate once again, I do think she's going to see pro play, and, well, I guess let's talk about the ultimate, because that's the reason I think she's going to see pro play. EMP is an insanely powerful ability. Everybody within line of sight of you for a few meters, a pretty big radius, gets hacked. So for 5 to 6 seconds, I forgot to mention, hack lasts 5 to 6 seconds, they can't do anything. Turrets are disabled, Reinhardt's shield is disabled, their ultimates are disabled, which makes EMP the ultimate engage tool. Ultimate engage tool. There is, well, it's literally an ultimate engage tool. But what I'm saying is, the enemy team can't really fight back. When you catch a lot of people in EMP, they are so useless. You don't even need a combo. You can combo ults super easy with EMP. You can EMP and just fight the enemy team and probably win. You can EMP the team and Graviton Surge the enemy team, and you don't even need to use something crazy, because if everybody's Graviton Surged and they don't have any shields or barriers, you can kill them all, like guaranteed. There's no reason they can't. Oh, and EMP as well as hack removes shields. So for one, Winston's shield that he puts down and Reinhardt's barrier shield are both disabled, but shields physically on your character, like the ones Symmetra applies or the ones that are naturally in Zenyatta's kit or Zarya's kit, get removed for 6 seconds, which means Zenyatta's at 50 HP for 6 seconds. Like, EMP is going to be a good ability, and if you can do this to a big group of people, you can remove all their shields. Zarya and Zenyatta immediately become easy to take out. The enemy team gets no abilities. I honestly think EMP is going to be super overpowered. I can't even deny it. Like, the ult charge rate could be pretty slow, and I think it should be slow with an ability that powerful. I actually think it rivals Graviton Surge in power, because right now I think Graviton Surge is just so powerful. But EMP I think is going to definitely rival that, and if its cooldown isn't very long, it's going to be super good. And I think this is the reason she's going to be seen in pro play. The ability to deny the whole enemy team shields and abilities for 6 seconds. Undeniably an amazing ability. So I guess my final thoughts are, I think Sombra's going to be good. Not OP, but good. And I think she's going to be good for different reasons. I think her EMP is going to be the main source of playmaking potential in her kit. Not that the rest of her kit is bad, I just think that ability is the best. Because the other abilities have counterplay. EMP doesn't really have counterplay. You don't need to do anything. You sneak behind the enemy team invisible, EMP them. There's like no counterplay to that. In the end though, I think she's going to be similar to Genji. Skilled players will definitely get the hang of her, definitely going to be used, and I think she's going to be good in skilled hands. As far as players go that just want a few heroes to play and not really master, I'm not sure this is the hero for you. Like, some players I know are very good with a select few heroes, but they're not as good as someone who spends most of their time on one hero. Someone who mains someone, I guess. Sombra is going to be someone I think you really have to main. You have to play a lot to be good with. But when you are, I think she's going to be good. I'm not going to lie. I think she's going to be good. Not as OP as everyone else thinks. I think she's going to be good and balanced, for sure. I don't think she's going to be overpowered at all, but I do think she's going to see play. Tell me what you guys think. Be sure to leave a like down below. It really helps me out if you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys all later. Lone Hawk, out.